everybody, I'm Hank Longo, and welcome to this edition of Sports Central featuring our 2019 Polk County Hall of Fame inductions. Hello everybody, I'm Hank Longo, and welcome to this edition of Sports Central featuring the 2019 Polk County All Sports Awards, and our first segment brought to us by Cypress Lanes. Well, I have the pleasure of being with one of the great legends in Polk County, Mr. Ed Jeffries, and a Polk County Hall of Fame inductee. A very special night tonight.
Very special. It looks like we're going to have a great crowd also. Always look forward to this every year.
It's great having you here every year.
Good. It's a beautiful jacket you have.
Well, thank you. You probably look good in this color yourself. So, what's it like when you get that phone call saying you've been inducted in the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame?
Well, first you say, are you sure you're talking to me? Did you get the name right? But we have a great athletic county.
Oh, very much so.
From the young people all the way up to the senior adults. And it's just great being one of those and to be here tonight with this group.
Well, you've had a tremendous career, and that's why you were recognized. What are some tips that you can give to the young athletes today as they're growing into their sport?
Choose something that you like to do. Don't let other people tell you what you should be doing, because you need to make up your mind anyway. I tried several sports and finally decided on a couple of sports that I thought I could do a lot better in, and it worked out well.
Well, when you're doing something that you feel that you're accomplished in, it makes it a lot more fun to play the sport.
Isn't that something? Yes. You always look forward to the next day when you go to practice. And I don't think I ever dogged it in practice. I always tried to do the best I could in practice because I knew that would pay off during the game.
Definitely, definitely. Are there any special moments that really stood out in your career that you think about time and time again?
Yeah, but I hate to say that, because people think you're bragging.
No, you're not bragging. You did. When you've done it, it's not bragging.
Well, I pitched 18 games in high school and didn't lose in it all.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And I had a contract with the St. Louis Browns, but it seemed like 100 years ago. But I graduated at the wrong time, 1950. And the week after I graduated, Uncle Sam said, we have a little ball game in Korea.
We want you to be on the team.
That's right. So I said, well, it'd be quite an honor to serve my country.
Well, that's fantastic. And anyone special tonight that you're here to support, or are you just here for the event just to be once again able to be up on the stage and help hand out those Polk County Hall of Fame jackets?
Yeah, I've been on the committee for several years, so I enjoy coming and researching all of what the guys have done, or girls.
It's amazing, isn't it, the careers that these athletes have had.
Yes, and what a great asset to our county.
Yeah, it really is. It's amazing, and we're going to have like over 770 people here tonight. And it's just amazing the representation that we get here, and of course with Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing along with the Ledger Media Group, it sure makes for an exciting evening that we look forward to every year.
Oh yeah, and Mark does such a great job.
He really does, and the whole crew. We've got such a talented staff that works together as a team to get the job done.
I appreciate being here.
Well, we appreciate you being here, Ed, and thanks for taking a moment to chat with me. It's always a pleasure, and enjoy tonight.
Okay, I will.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I have the pleasure of being with our 2019 inductee in the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Mike Estridge, and what a special night, Mike.
Well, I've truly been blessed and honored. It's a great honor and pleasure.
You know, when you get that phone call, and I like to have this chat with people who are inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's like, you know, you've always thought about, you know, what you've done in the sport, but it really makes you kind of just go through and do a whole inventory of your career. You know, how has that happened to you?
It was a total shock, and my wife and I were just sitting there, and all of a sudden got a phone call and called the phone back, and it was just totally honored. And golf has been good to me, and I've been blessed by a lot of people. I mean, to really help me out through the years.
Well, you know, that's such a good point, because you can't do it on your own.
No, sir.
And when you get the support from your community or special coaches that find that talent in you and encourage you that you do have the talent, that gives you the inspiration to say, well, let me see how good I can do with this.
Well, it's amazing what people, when they all come together, and it's just an honor and a blessing to try to help others now as they've helped me.
Is there a special instance or one time that stands out in your career that's more significant than any other? Or?
I'm going to mention tonight, you know, about Wogie Badcock Jr. and how he helped me go back to school after my Navy service. And
your mom wanted you to
my
do
mother
that. You
wanted
better get that education.
And a gentleman by the name of Spread Satterfield that was at Par 3 Golf Center that really helped me and gave me lessons and taught me a lot about life.
Well,
So,
and of course the Babcock Company being very good to you gave you a great career.
They kept me on for 40 years, so
That's amazing.
it is amazing.
It's amazing. Well, I don't want to steal too much of your thunder, because I know you're going to be very exciting to listen to tonight and to tell your whole story. And congratulations. And it's a great honor, and I'm glad I got to share a moment with you before the big induction ceremony takes place. So enjoy your evening. Thank you so much, Mike. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I have the pleasure of being with one of the greatest golfers of all time in Polk County history, in national history. Actually, probably the youngest inductee joining us tonight in this 2019 induction at 99 years old. Herbert Dixon, you look like a young whippersnapper still. What an amazing career, and such a storied career, how you started so young and just picked up the game, and as a caddy, just watch people and learn to develop your technique. Fascinating.
That is right. That's the way I picked my game up. I watched the other guys play. I was a caddy long in those days, and but I realized that I wanted to play golf, and I started picking it up.
Well, you had Mondays as a caddy where was the day you could go play.
Monday was the only day that we was allowed to play on the golf course. They had what they call a caddy's day, and that was Monday. But I picked it up and kept on moving up.
Well, with over 50 wins as a pro, you had to have done a lot of traveling back in those days.
Well, yes, I was fortunate enough to run into a friend of mine by the name of Dr. Birch. And in Clearwater, I want to set a club, and I got him into liking to play golf. And once he learned how to play golf, he wanted to do a lot of traveling. And he was my main man to help me get to the different places I needed to go in order to play golf, pro golf at that.
And back in those days, you still had to go work to pay for all of this. They didn't have those $1 million Sundays, did they?
The last tournament one of the major tournaments that I played in was the North and South. All the good golfers would come together and play in this particular tournament, something like a U.S. Open. And the week before I went to the golf course, I picked fruit, saved up enough money to get into the golf tournament. Once I got into the golf course, this was in 1951 in Jacksonville, Florida, and all the big golfers was there, including Charlie Sifford. He was one of the greatest black golfers in those days. And after we got to go into playing golf and everything, and the first day I shot a 68.
That's fantastic.
And the word spread around because I was a kind of unknown, you know. And Charlie Sheffer, he was a big time golfer, and he smoked a big cigar in his mouth. And the first thing he said, "Who is that champ?"
Well, that had been a little motivating, huh?
Oh, yeah. So it just so happened the last day of the tournament, he and I was paired together. And I shot a 69 on him in that last day and won the tournament.
That is phenomenal. What a fantastic memory to have for the rest of your life. And how did you deal with the pressure of him, or did you just get so tuned into the game you blanked it all out?
I just blanked it out and played my game. I just played my game because I knew I had a fairly good game, but I just played my game and blocked him out as an individual.
Now, I'm a golf fan. I like playing golf. I'm not a great golfer, but I love the game. But to me, you win the game from 60 yards in and putting.
Oh, yeah.
So you really have had to have been dialed in that day with your chipping and putting.
My chipping and putting is, I've always had a good short game. Sandwich from 60 yards out. Most of the time I come within 4 and 5 feet, sometimes 8 feet. And I relied on my short game. Of course, I hit the ball pretty good on those days. I would average about 275 and 280.
Oh, my gosh. And you didn't have the technology that they've got
but
today.
I didn't have the technology.
You know.
So I just played when I had a whole set of gooseneck golf clubs back in those days.
That is fantastic.
And I played with them.
Well, we're going to enjoy hearing your story tonight, and it's fascinating that you look so great and you're so dapper and so full of youth that it's going to be fun having you up on the stage and listen to this fantastic story of your golf career and your life as just a great human being.
Thank you very much.
Well, Herbert, Mr. Dixon, thank you so much, and look forward to your getting that Polk County Hall of Fame jacket tonight, that blazer.
I appreciate that very much.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I have the pleasure of being with Mr. Jack Myers, a dear friend and a 2019 inductee in the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. And this has got to be fabulous, Jack, because you are definitely so instrumental in all of this taking place in our county.
Well, I don't know that I can take all the credit for that. There's a lot of people that has worked on this for a long time, sports marketing. You know, I've known you, Hank, you've worked on this yourself. But, you know, I had the pleasure of serving on the county commission for 8 years, and 7 of those years was the TDC chairman, so I was real involved during those 7 years, and it's a pleasure to be back and be honored.
Well, you have put so much of your time into helping the community, and very unselfishly, as a city commissioner, as a county commissioner, and all the boards and organizations that you are a part of. That's some real unselfish love to give back to the community that you care so much about.
Well, thank you, Hank. But, you know, sometimes you're put into pressure situations, and unfortunately, during my tenure there on the TDC chair, we lost the Royals, the Kansas City Royals. We lost the Indians, and also Cypress Gardens closed down. So we had to act. And through those unforeseen circumstances, we were able to offset a $40 million economic impact in a negative way to the county to now, which is over a $60 million impact with the Russ Matt Baseball, Lake Myrtle Sports Complex, the Florida State Youth Soccer Association, and, you know, recently the USA Water Ski Association. So, you know, it's been a blessing in disguise, you should say. I think that, you know, youth sports and amateur sports are recession-proof, and it's proven out over time, and it's been a good move, I think, for the county as a whole.
Well, when you get into youth sports, no matter how the economy is, mom and dad are going to make sure that that young kid gets to the soccer game or the baseball game or the track meet or the swimming meet, because it's when you have your kids involved in a sport like that, they're learning, number one, they're learning discipline, they're learning how to play a game, but you've got them playing a game and not getting in trouble and getting some exercise and intermingling with other kids, you know, and you're off the couch and your parents don't have to worry about you because they know where you are.
Right, and it's dollars coming in from outside, and you know, like you said, the parents go, especially if it's women's or young girls, those parents travel with them.
And those girls love to shop when they're here.
Yeah,
as well.
and mamas do too. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a fun night tonight, and I don't want to steal from what you're going to share with us when you get up on the podium as you're inducted, but I have to say one of the great things is the vision of that cow field, that pasture, turning into the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex.
Yeah, well, I had help, you know, so there was a lot of people that had that vision, and I just was fortunate enough to be elected by the people to serve on the city commission when we purchased it, and also on the county commission when we implemented the programs that are there and ongoing programs for the future. You know, the lacrosse, the Pan American Lacrosse Association, we're real close, you know, to signing a deal with them, which will bring more international events there. And it's just fabulous, the potential that still exists there. And the city of Auburndale just the other day approved the funding to go forward with the Little League baseball complex, and then, you know, hopefully down the road we'll have the Little League football there as well. So
kind of phenomenal. Well, thank you
you,
so
Hank.
much. You're welcome, Jack. Always
you.
a pleasure to chat with you and to share your company. And you're going to look good putting on that blazer tonight.
Well, thank you, Hank.
All righty, Jack. Thank you. Well, what a great delight this is to be with 2019 Polk County Hall of Fame inductee Alan Mills, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And boy, what a storied career you've had. It's been phenomenal.
I was very fortunate, very fortunate. A lot of people I owe a lot to get me there, so very thankful.
In reading about your career, I find it very interesting that what an honor it was for you to play with the Yankees, because when I was a little kid, I grew up on Long Island and playing stickball since from birth on, and I couldn't wait to play Little League baseball. Babe Ruth baseball, in the summer I got to play. We moved from New York to Michigan. My dad was an FBI agent. He got transferred there. And when we moved out to the country in Waterford, Michigan, there was no baseball, and it was like...
Tiger fan?
Oh, I've always been a fan.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, you've had some real up and downs, though, in your career before it really took off, and your determination not to give up is really, from what I gather, what got you to where you are today.
Well, I struggled a lot in the minor leagues. I didn't think I was going to be, you know, able to make it, and you know, just was fortunate one year. Everything turned around and fell into place, and got my opportunity and kind of took advantage of it, you know. But like I said before, you know, there are a lot of people along the way to help me, and you know, I appreciate everything that everybody's ever done for me to help me get to where I was.
And well, you took it upon yourself to you know, try to get better. You know, you could really throw the ball hard, but kind of getting it to go where you wanted it to go. Had a few issues with that.
A few, more than my share, but kind of figured it out one off season, and you know, things kind of took off from there. Playing with the Yankees, you know, what can you say? I mean, that's the number one organization.
Doesn't get any better than that.
No, in any sport. So, you know, I appreciate coming up with them. It was a great experience, and then going to Baltimore, you know, when that stadium first opened in Baltimore, Camden Yards, it was an exciting time. So, you know, I really enjoyed all my time there.
I got to ask you this as a fan, and you know, you sit there and you watch the ball games and you see the pitcher out on the mound, and you got the catcher giving you all the signals. Do you feel the spectators there at all, or do you actually blank them out, or what does it feel like being out there is my big question.
I'm going to be more nervous tonight than pitching in a ball game with a packed house.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be like you just kind of blank them out. You get used to, you know, the game. Yeah, they're there, but it's just you have a job to do. I'll be more nervous when they call my name to go up on stage than any game I played in, for sure.
That's fantastic. Well, you know, I think part of it too is as you grow up and you play in school and you go to college and you get drafted and you going, right from A ball to, the majors. You probably are the most comfortable when you're out on the mound.
Well, you're at home. It feels like home. Yeah, especially when you're doing well. But when you're not doing well, you kind of want to get off the mound.
Can somebody take me out of this bad situation?
But I mean, it was all worth it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Well, congratulations, and I know it's going to be fun listening to your story tonight. And delighted I got to chat with you. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you
welcome.
for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Nice meeting you.
Well, we hope you're enjoying the show, and welcome to our second segment here on Sports Central, brought to you by the Hampton Inn in Bartow.
Brian, before we get into the Hall of Fame and the major portion of our ceremony this evening, this whole production, I want to give a big shout out, starting from the Deputy County Manager, Ryan Taylor, who oversees a lot of different departments, including tourism and sports marketing, and the entire staff of Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing. They're scattered around the room. I was asked earlier, is this a professional production? Somebody come in and do this and all of that? The answer is no. Staff does this. Selection of the music, coordination of everything that goes on here. I'd like you to raise your hand if you're part of the Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing staff, and PGTV, whose crew is out here with the cameras, will be on PGTV over the next couple of weeks. So please raise your hand, give them a big round of applause. These are the ones that are behind the scenes making this happen. Couldn't ask for a better crew. All right, here we go. How do you like that music? That Olympic playlist is just absolutely amazing. So that selection was well done. I'd like to ask our current Hall of Famers that are in attendance this evening, as I call your name, please make your way down to the stage. Okay. Now, there may be one person or two that didn't let us know they were coming. If you are here, please come on down anyway. Let me know or let somebody in the back know. But here we go. From 2000, Ken Riley and Barbara Cooper Clack-Hedden. Ken, of course, an NFL great, should be in the Hall of Fame. Barbara Cooper Clack-Hedden, multi-time world water ski champion. In 2005, Bill Castle. 2007, Glenn Rutenbar. 2009, former AD Don Bridges. 2011, J.J. Corbett. 2013, Nancy Denton. From 2014, Marnie Cobb, the better-looking half. Dr. Edward Jeffries. 2015, John Dunlap and Colin Smith. From 2016, baseball coach and scout Joe McDonald. From 2017, former New York Yankees hurler Andy McGaffigan. From 2018, Gene Engel, Ron Morrow, and Lorraine Valerino. Give them a big round of applause and welcome them onto the stage. And we're going to ask all of them, we'll be sitting over here. Brian and I are going to share a mic. Want some water too?
I'm good.
Okay, you can, okay. Brian, you're up.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the induction of the class of 2019 Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. Our first inductee tonight is Forrest McKinney. With a record of 111, 31, and 12 during his 18-year coaching career at Union Academy, Mr. McKinney's impact on Polk County sports centers on the gridiron. Not only was he a football coach, he was also the basketball coach and athletic director. In fact, His 1957 basketball team won Bartow's first state championship. However, it was the lessons taught between plays and players that they remember best. A humble disciplinarian who used his words to guide, discipline, and inspire, 11 of his players would get NFL tryouts, 9 made teams. But more than numbers, McKinney was a guiding force in an unsettled time. The lessons he taught his players brought them through tough times and their heads held high. He asked them to excel and inspire, and they have. While Mr. McKinney passed away in 1975, at the young age of 51, his lessons live on in many in this room tonight and will echo throughout Polk County and the rest of Central Florida for generations to come. Here to present a plaque to Mr. McKinney's daughter, Walinda Johnson, is Polk County Sports Hall of Fame Class of 2000 member and a student of McKinney's, Ken Riley.
Good evening, everyone. I'd first like to say thank you on behalf of my brother and our families to the Polk County All Sports Awards Committee for giving our father, Forrest McKinney, this honor tonight. We appreciate it and know that he would also. Thank you. My father was hired as the boys' physical education teacher, head football and basketball coach, and athletic director at Union Academy Junior Senior High School in 1947. He served as head football coach until 1965. The head basketball coach and athletic director until the school closed in 1969. In the mid-1960s, when driver's education was incorporated into the state's high school curriculum, he became the driver's education teacher at Union Academy. In 1969, he became the first African-American assistant principal at Bartow High School. As a head football coach, head football and basketball coach, my father and his staff were very successful. That small school in the small town of Bartow was a great school to get an education and to play sports. Believe me, Coach McKinney didn't let you play on his teams if you didn't keep your grades up to at least a C average in your classes. He got to know all of his young athletes personally, and they knew him. He had a one-on-one relationship with all of them. He made sure they learned to respect themselves and to respect others on and off the field and the court. He instilled in them, as he always did my brother and me, that you are somebody. 7 of Union Academy's football athletes, football players, went to the NFL and played between 1 and 15 years. 2 of those players became coaches in the NFL. 2 of those players are here tonight. His 1957 undefeated basketball team was the first team in Bartow to win a state championship. Several of his other basketball teams won district and regional championships, and the 1969 team, his last team, went to the state championship, but weren't quite as successful. Even though he had a very successful coaching career, he would be more proud of the fact that the young men that he coached, taught, and mentored matured and prospered into well-educated, intelligent, and successful gentlemen. These men, most of whom are retired now, were administrators of education, lawyers, teachers, ministers, and have been involved in various other successful careers. A few of them are proudly sitting here with us this evening as a part of our extended family to share in this joyous occasion. Thank you, my big brothers, for being here with us tonight. Forrest McKinney would be very proud of you. Thanks also to my Union Academy sisters that he taught for coming here this evening. He would be proud of you also. Thanks also to his good friend and co-worker who coached beside him, Uncle J.J. Corbett, who is also already a member of this Hall of Fame. Congratulations to all of the other honorees, especially to Mr. Dixon, whom I've known all of my life. To the committee, I again say thank you for selecting my father, Forrest McKinney, for this honor.
Our third segment of Sports Central is brought to you by Office Furniture Depot.
Well, Linda, thank you very much. Very, very well done. Well, sometimes the staff gets things wrong, every once in a while, but I think we got this one wrong. Our next inductee is affectionately known as Front Row Joe. Well, he really should have come first because it seems like he was always first. Actually, folks, Joe Nemechek couldn't be here this evening due to a scheduling conflict, which happens when you're still racing. We will hold his induction ceremony at the Polk County Hall of Fame in Auburndale at a later date, and we'll let you know. Brian?
Yeah, take it over. Our next inductee is Mike Estridge. Considered one of the most competitive amateur tournaments in the state, the trophy for the Youth Villa Classic Golf Tournament has some notable names on it, including former PGA professionals Andy Bean and Bob Murphy. But only one name is etched onto the trophy 7 times, Mike Estridge. A spectacular junior golfer, he'd already won the Youth Villa twice before going to the University of Florida. He also qualified for the state high school championship twice and won 2 straight Florida Junior College state championships. Even military service could get in the way of his golf game. He was a base champion in both Pensacola, which we talked about a little bit ago. You were talking about your bases, and Germany. After college, Estridge spent the next 40 years working for the W.S. Badcock Corporation. While racking up the wins at major and amateur golf tournaments, he'd win the Youth Villa 5 more times, as well as the Marion E. Stevens Memorial 4 times, and in 2017, the Paul McDonald Memorial Senior Championship. Today, he gives back by teaching golfers of tomorrow in the City of Bartow's summer golf program. Here to present Mr. Estridge, his jacket, is Polk County Sports Hall of Fame Class 2014 member Glenn Rutenbar.
Thank you to the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame for my induction. And thanks to my Lord and Savior for the talent to play golf in my youth. I've received so much support from my family and friends, especially our parents that supported Jane, my sister, and I in all our endeavors. They gave up so much to support my golf and Jane's dancing. My father always said when I was on the golf course, he didn't have to worry where I was or who I was with. That was true, and I didn't have time anyway. Golf was turned into my passion, and to this day, I am happiest when I'm playing golf. I couldn't get enough of it. I still play as often as I can in FSGA events and local fundraisers, but I still don't have the pressure on me like I had in my youth days. I'm leaving that up to the younger generations. Throughout my life, I've been blessed by so many people, but along with my family, 2 other people who have big influence in my life. The first is a gentleman by the name of Spritz Satterfield, who is the teaching pro at Par 3 Golf Center. At my age of 14, Gerald Tucker and I, Gerald being 15 and driving us to Par 3 every Saturday, started taking lessons from Spritz on Saturday mornings. For 50 cents, 25 cents for a lesson, and 25 cents to play Par 3, which is now the first tee of Lakeland. Spritz was always my teacher. He developed my golf swing and instructed me in all the ways of life. I am blessed today to work at Bartow Golf Course part-time and help with the youth program there in the summer, as we have going on these 2-3 weeks in the first 3 weeks of summer. That is truly a blessing to see these younger kids enjoying hitting the perfect shots. The second person I would like to thank is Wogan Badcock Jr. I started working part-time at Badcock's in 1968. In 1970, I got my draft notice, so I enlisted in the U.S. Navy. When I got out of the service, I went back to work part-time at Badcock's until the next semester started at the University of Florida so I could finish my degree. The manager of the store offered me to be assistant manager of the store, and I wasn't sure what to do with that, so I went to see Mr. B, as we called him always, and he told me to go back to school, and that is what my mother wanted me to do. And when I finished school, a job was waiting for me there. He also told me if I needed anything, support or anything, just to call him and it'd be there. 40 years later, I retired from that company. I am humbled and blessed to receive such a prestigious award, and I want to thank all my family and friends for being here tonight. Thank you.
These stories are absolutely amazing. I imagine this next inductee is just a little bit nervous. Probably should be, because I'm the one that's doing the introduction. His name is Jack Myers. Jack's father took a job, Jack's dad is here tonight, by the way, took a job coaching basketball at Auburndale High School in 1973. Little did Mr. Myers know that he was moving to the city that would eventually, didn't take his name, but his thumbprint has been on it for years. A graduate of Florida Southern, he found his profession in the rough and tumble real estate business, but he really found his calling in the field of politics. With the caveat that he might decide to run again at any minute, Jack has devoted, up to now at least, nearly 21 years of his life to public service. After 2 terms as an Auburndale commissioner, he served 8 years as a Polk County commissioner, and during his tenure there, he served as the chairman 3 times. He would return to serve the people of Auburndale, resigning during his 3rd term to run for state senate. He then served Auburndale for another 4 more years. Jack's work for both elected bodies was essential to the creation of what has become a perpetual economic dynamo for Polk County and Auburndale. If the Lake Myrtle Sports Park put Auburndale on the map, the city has Jack Myers to thank. He was also instrumental in the recruiting of Florida Youth Soccer Association, which I talked about earlier, to the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex, as well as bringing the Florida Sports Hall of Fame to Polk County and paving the way for the largest collegiate baseball spring tournament in the world, the Russmat Baseball Spring Classic. Before I do that, I do want to mention that Jack has taught me a lot. And a lot of it didn't have to do with sports, believe it or not. For example, Jack is adamant about keeping fit and staying well hydrated with lots of liquid, a lot of beverages, particularly vitamin M Light, both before playing golf, during golf, and after golf. That was supposed to be funny, Jack. Anybody who knows Jack Myers, he's, what are you, a 4 handicap, something like that? Or at least in our scrambles, you put it down as a 10, but I know really you're a 4. Okay, anyway, here to present Jack Myers with his jacket is Polk County Sports Hall of Fame Class of 2000 member, Miss Barbara Cooper-Clack Hedden, who's also a very, very accomplished golfer. Barbara?
Thank you, Mark. That's like the pot calling the kettle black, but enough of that. First of all, let me thank my wife, Karen, because as anybody in politics would know, you have to have the support of your family. So my family's here tonight, and thank you. I also want to thank Mickey Etherton for nominating me to this. His name's on the main field at Lake Myrtle Sports Complex, but as a politician, you can't do everything on your own. I got up, and City Manager Bobby Green probably about had a heart attack at the opening ceremonies of the Auburndale Youth Soccer League one year at Caldwell Elementary. It was nothing but sand and sand spurs. And for some reason, as a young, naive mayor, I got up and promised him a new soccer fields. Well, it wasn't until we started working and Bobby Green started working on the Rails to Trails that he visited with C. Fred Jones, who happened to be the state representative and dean of the House of Representatives at the time at his homestead property, which is now Lake Myrtle. But he was out there looking for the Rails to Trails to go through it. And he saw this property. And it wasn't too long after that C. Fred Jones, as only he could do, came to the city commission, gave a state of the address, a union address like, and I said as a sitting commissioner, I said, well, with all due respect, Mr. Jones, I've got to watch out for the taxpayers' money of Auburndale. And from that, we negotiated right there in the city commission meeting the deal for the land at Lake Myrtle. Mr. Jones didn't want it named after him as Mrs. Jones did, but he did want his parents' name on the sign. And they held the financing, and the city commission with Richard Heyman, myself, Bill Sterling, Charles Johnson, and Jimmy Moody, and Dr. Bill Sterling voted unanimously that night and directed staff to purchase it. So I was fortunate enough later to go on to the county commission, and with that being said, we were looking at enlarging the Simmers Young Park. Well, we were having trouble with the size of it, so I ran, just driving by City Hall as we do in Auburndale. There was Mark Jackson one day, and I said, Mark, do you have a minute? Do you remember this? Yeah. So I put him in the car, took him out to the top of the hill at Lake Myrtle, and as they like to say, the rest is history. And you've heard recruitment of the Youth Soccer Association and the Board of County Commissioners partnering with the City of Auburndale, Russ Matt Baseball, USA Water Ski, and hopefully soon to announce the Pan American Lacrosse Association will also be headquartered there. But with that, it was a vote of the county commission there, the TDC unanimously, Bob English, Paul Simp, Commissioner Sam Johnson, and Commissioner Randy Wilkinson. And you can't do it on your own, but I want to thank those folks for having the vision, for staff having a vision, and for having a plan. And you just can't do it without the support of everyone. So with that being said, may God bless you, and thank you very much to the committee for selecting me for this great honor. Thank you.
Well, welcome back to our fourth segment here on Sports Central, brought to you by Echo Suites.
Our fifth inductee tonight is a man named Herbert Dixon. Born during the presidency of Woodrow Wilson, the Union Academy valedictorian taught himself to play golf while working as a caddy at the Bartow Golf Course. Driven and determined, Mr. Dixon would go on to become a regular in the only pre-integration major black city golf circuit, the United Golf Association Tour. But an event in 1951 shaped his future. Again, I'm going to say that one more time. 1951 shaped his future. Future PGA star Charlie Sifford called him a shrimp. Dixon would shoot no higher than a 69 for the next 2 days. Then on the third day and deciding day, with Sifford watching his every move, he shot 69 again. Winning the National Open at that time, he would go on to win more than 50 tournaments. Ladies and gentlemen, he's such a legend. I've had the personal opportunity to meet this fine gentleman and play in his tournament. He's a legend. He is the third Hall of Fame induction. Mr. Dixon is already a member of both the African American Golfers Hall of Fame as well as the National Black Golf Hall of Fame. Today, Mr. Dixon can be often found playing. He plays wonderfully. I mean, I can't even get close. Year-round, he first learned to play in Bartow. He's not above taking your money on the course either. Here to present this young, vibrant man, his jacket this evening, is Polk County Sports Hall of Fame Class 2017 member, our good friend Andy McGaffigan.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight and be honored for the sport that I participated and receive a gift for the Hall of Fame. It's been a long road. Long, long road. Way back in 1958 and on, I've been traveling this road to try to make it to this particular spot. And this is the honor for the icing on the cake. This is the third time that I have been inducted to the Hall of Fame. And I want to thank all of my friends, the Bartow Golf and Country Club Pro, and the manager of the Bartow Golf and Country Club, and everyone that has a part of this special occasion. I'm honored and pleased and happy. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Not really sure what to say after that. That was just unbelievable. Man, fantastic. One more, gang. With a menacing mustache, a cold stare, and a strong right arm, Alan Mills was a key contributor to a Baltimore Orioles team that never dropped out of contention, including the team that won 98 games in 1997. But things really didn't start out that way. After a rough couple of seasons in the minors, Mills went old school. He built a mound in his parents' backyard, complete with a tire as a target. 2 years later, he was a member of the 1990 New York Yankees and remains one of only 2 Yankees to ever make the jump from single A ball to the majors. But after Mills' days as a professional baseball player ended, his time in the sport did not. Mills took to coaching with the same dedication he had as a player. First, it was with Kathleen High School, then with the Baltimore Orioles organization. Rising through the ranks, he made it back to the major leagues. Today, after spending the past 2 seasons as the bullpen coach of the Major League Baltimore Orioles, he is the manager of their rookie team in Sarasota, leading and instructing the Major League stars of tomorrow. Here to present Mr. Mills with his jacket is Major League Baseball scout Joe McDonald.
Thank you. I'm honored, humbled, to receive this award. My mom always said, I was very lucky. I'm very fortunate. My parents were great. My family was great. I got a lot of people to thank for, all the success I've had throughout my life. You know, if you ever saw me play golf, I wouldn't be up here. If you ever saw me play baseball when I built that mound in my backyard, you wouldn't think I'd be up here. I was thinking, watching all the kids come up and get these awards, I was thinking about the first time when I was on my way to sign up to play Little League Baseball. And I looked at my mom and I said, hey, could you turn around? She was like, why? I was like, I'm kind of scared. So I didn't play that year. Next year I waited, you know, all the kids at school were still playing. I waited and, I don't want to play. And she took me in about halfway through the season, and the coach, he didn't start me, he put me on the bench, and I was probably the happiest man in Florida. So I'm sitting there on the bench, and, you know, that time finally came, kind of like tonight. I was kind of nervous, didn't want to come up here, but that time came, and God put me out in left field, and I was just like praying to God, please, please, just don't let him hit me the ball. Please don't let him hit me the ball. So they didn't hit me the ball. I thank you still. Thank you. And I come back to the dugout, and my mom goes, are you cold? I was like, no. Why do you ask? She goes, you were out there shaking. So I've been scared to death, but I thank all of you for everything. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
Once again, please join us in recognizing the 2019 inductees of the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, we would like to sincerely thank all of you for attending and supporting this evening.
Well, thank you, Brian, and thank you so much for joining me. To you and the Ledger staff, you're just a great team to work with. As our team talks about, success is all about partnerships, and that's a mantra of ours, always has been, and it's great to have partners like the Ledger team. Well, without the support of the community and our sponsors as well, this event and this night would not be possible. Don't forget, everybody, grab the Ledger tomorrow morning and check it out. It's a front page feature, and it's a testament to the talent, to the gifts, to the blessings that we have here in Polk County in the sports world. I would also like to thank the crew of PGTV. You've done a lot of shows with them, hundreds to this point, and they are true professionals. They do an awesome job. I don't know how Mayanne Nelson put such a talented group of people together, Mark Cuddy, the director back here, and the rest of the crew. I go on about how talented they are. They are as good as just about any production crew I've ever worked with throughout the country. So I'd like to thank them. You can always go to polk-county.net, click on PGTV, because this show will re-air, but you can also catch it on our show, our TV show, which is called Sports Central on PGTV. So make sure you check that out. Well, everyone, it's truly an honor to be up here with the new inductees, the talent that's up here, the talent that's been out here, our former inductees or members of the Hall of Fame. They're great people to be around, both up here but also in the community. This concludes our 2019 Polk County All Sports Awards and Hall of Fame ceremony. May God bless you with a very safe trip home. Thank you, and we'll see you again next year.
Well, thank you for joining us here for this edition of Sports Central. Our next live show is going to be July 19th, and we couldn't do it with all our great sponsors. We want to thank the folks at Holiday Inn Winter Haven, Hollywood Window Tinting and Signs, Legoland Florida, Party Rentals Unlimited, and the Country Club of Winter Haven. We'll see you again next time.